Hi, my name's Alicia. This is for video 18, performing a blood smear. I'm just using this as my guide. So for the blood smear, we need a couple of items. So I've got my blood sample. It's currently in a purple EDTA tube, as that's the way we collected it. I've got a pipette, which I'll be using to collect my blood, and I have 2 microscope slides here, which I'll be using to perform the blood smear. When we are performing the blood smear, we need to be making sure that when we are smearing it, we're holding 1 microscope slide here in our hand and making sure to pull back where the blood sample is, making sure that it lines up to the entirety of the blood, the line of the microscope slide, and then sliding it out. So I will just complete that one now. I've got my blood sample here. I'm just going to take a small sample like this in my pipette, and I'm just going to place my dot right on there, like so. It's not a very good dot. It's quite hot and humid out here, so now I'm just going to, as I showed you before, I'm just going to hold my microscope slide at a 45-degree angle, pull back so that the blood lines up with the side of the microscope slide, and then slide it out so that hopefully we can get a nice feathering effect on the microscope slide with the blood. Yeah, okay. So I used too much blood on my slide here. So I'm going to go and grab another slide, and I'm going to attempt this again. Right. I have my new slide, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing that I mentioned earlier. I'm just going to try with this little smaller dot this time. And I'm just going to repeat the same action. So this one is a little better. As you can see, there's a slight feathering effect on the top. Obviously it's not an ideal blood smear. We prefer them to be a bit smaller and a bit more rounded, with the feathering at the top of the blood slide. But the thickness of this is good. It's not too thick and it's not too thin. You can already kind of tell that it's starting to dry on the slides. So this, out of the 2, is probably going to be the most ideal blood slide, but the quality of both of these is absolutely terrible. Okay, I had one final go on my final slide and it actually turned out really good. So as you can see, there's the feathering at the top. We don't have a lot of the sample on here, so this will be easy to stain when it gets stained later, and also is easier to read under the microscope because there's not as much to describe, I guess. But yeah, this is probably the best one of the 3. So what I will do now is I will go over to where we stain all our slides, and I will demonstrate the steps for that. Okay, hi, my name is Alicia. I'm just filming my blood smear video. This is where I'm going to be staining my slide, as you can see. Now we've got 3 types of staining that we need to go through. So there's the first Dip-Quik, that's like a blue clear solution that helps to fixate the blood on the slide. And then we've got our second Dip-Quik, which is a red color, which provides some of the staining. And then we've got our third lot of Dip-Quik, which has the purple and gives us the clearest view for looking under the microscope. I will take a photo of our setup and put it in after this so that you can have a look. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use the first Dip-Quik, the blue one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dip the slide in 10 times to fixate it onto the slide. And then I'm just going to rinse the back of the slide off with under a slight trickle of water just to get off any excess solution. Okay, I've just done that. Now I'm going to repeat the process with the other two solutions. So our second lot of Diff Quick, the red fixative. So 10 times in and out. And 10. And then I'm going to just rinse off the excess at the back. Now we've got a slide that's got a slight red tint to it, which will change once I add the final fixative, the purple Quick. And again, same process, 10 times, to make sure that it's all fixated onto the side. Okay. Now we've got a slide that's slightly purpley, pinky in colour. I'm just going to give it a bit of a dry on a white, just to get the excess water off. Okay, so we've now got the slide that is stained and is ready to be prepared to be loaded onto the microscope. So what we want to do is make sure our microscope is set correctly. So I'll adjust my microscope and I'll bring it back. Okay, so now that I've got my microscope set up how I would like it, I've now got my microscope slide and I'm just going to pop it onto here, moving this out of the way first, not doing that. And popping it on here and securing it with the little silver cloth so that it stays in place. And then I just want to adjust the handles to make sure that my sample is under the light. Make sure the light is on and ready to go. And then what we can do is set it to the highest power, so the 1000 times. So all we need to do is just flip these until we get to the one we want. And then we can move up the microscope until we get to where we want. And that's how we do the blood smear. Once the vet has had a look at the slide, what we can do is dispense of this safely. So we have a little container we use for our microscope slides, and then we dispose of them in a general waste bin once the container is full. So this is what it looks like here. So I'm just going to add that to our pile, and once that is full, we'll add that to a general waste bin.